Okie dokie, little ones. Welcome back. As you can tell, I sound substantially better. Chair's still squeaky, though. Yeah, sorry, it sucks. Trust me, I don't like it. So, recently, I got lucky. This is a full, no strings attached loaner unit. I didn't pay for anything, nor was I paid for anything. This was sent to me, and you know what, give me a second, I'll pull up the email. There we go, I found it. So, what was said was, I can also confidently share with you that all the reviews of our products were uninfluenced, unique analyses by the individual reviewer that are independent from our opinion. So, I've got to say that right proper tickles me. And it's a good thing, because when I reached out to them, they said, yes, sure, such and such will blah, 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 will send you a loaner unit of this particular item. And I made it very clear, I don't want free stuff, to keep. That's not my aim. I'll take it, but it's not my aim. I don't want to be paid. And if I'm being paid, if money is on the table, I'm probably going to deny it. And that I'm very slow, because I'm very thorough, or I try to be. And at the same time, I refuse to give anything a good freebie. I will be as brutally honest as possible. I was told, sure, not a problem. That was basically the result of the email was, yeah, no, that's not a problem. We're totally fine with your time allotment. We're totally fine with you doing however you want in your own unique way, for better or for worse. So, yes. Now, you yelled and screamed and hollered, I'm sure. And I will just cover up this person's name. This is from the recently renamed ADV Farsil. We hope you have as much fun with these as we do. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'm covering up this person's name. And I was sent a loaner unit. I get to hold on to it for about 4 weeks, but was also told if need be, the time can be extended just to let them know. So that makes me quite happy. And I'm only noticing now, good lord, I'm still a bit hoarse. So terribly sorry if it's not my normal gruff and tumble. This is the box. This is my gin. Let's pour me some and get on in. That's right, I said a rhyme. I'm a wizard, baby. Now, why gin? Normally I don't drink for these reviews, especially not alcohol. These are fancy. These are expensive. The single most expensive in-ear monitors I've ever had hit this poor little desk. And boy, I need something to temper myself. Oh, that is stiff. Oh, that is good gin. God, the Japanese make amazing liquor. Handcrafted, advanced, otherwise known as ADV now. Advanced Furai Black. Serial number 00013. Inspected by EH. Good job, EH. Here we are. We lift that up. This is the thank you for purchasing, the limited 3-year warranty. Who's protected under this warranty, what's covered, etc., etc. The accessories. And one of the single best friggin' brick cases I've ever seen. And I call it a brick because it's more of a puck, really. All you need to do in the instance of you being held up, give me your money. You whip this out, all right, my wallet's here. Thuck! Pop them right in the face hole with it. Note, please note that they are not responsible for any damage to you or anyone else if you decide to do a stupid in something like that. This is a very simple thing. It pulls straight open, has a suede or velour or felt inner. Probably felt or velour. It's really hard to tell. They came to me just like this, and I already pulled them out and gave them a little listen. Well, of course I did. I wanted to make sure it worked. I mean, the last thing I'd want to get to the unboxing. Shit, gotta call my contact or email my contact. Yeah, these came in dead. No, that would not have been fun for anyone. Not in the slightest. The accessories package. Advanced Sound Group, otherwise known as ADV now, the Furai. Comes with a detachable cable, a teeny tiny in-ear monitor, and you will get, of course, 3 filters. The bass, the treble, which came pre-installed in my unit, and I think this is their standard demo unit, as the little cover for the 3.5mm is off and in a baggie. And then you also have the gray reference. So in hindsight, I listened to these already, and I was impressed but not impressed all at the same time. And I realize now that was probably due to the treble filters. Not for bad things, it's really quite good, and we'll get into it more later, but weird things happened. We're of course going to pull out all of the tips. This probably won't make it back to you intact. I don't have good luck with these bags. Some more of their foams. Thank God there's a small and a medium. Had a problem with my, what are they called? The Dunma Pros. Not enough sizes for tips in terms of their foamies. Here is a nice little machined aluminum briquette that has the filters that screw on. That's the cap for the 3.5mm. This is a degunker. That's what I'm calling it. It's a friggin' degunker. So you can clean all of your ear cheese from it. 30% off custom fit. I don't believe that code is usable, so don't try. They actually sell custom CIEM tips that work for, I want to say they might have a universal-ish kind of model, and then they sell for popular ones and of course all of theirs for their warranty. So really cool if you want a CIEM-esque fit without an actual CIEM. You get a beautiful black chamois. That is definitely going back in the box. That's two-sided. Or at least the finish on it is two-sided. How interesting. Nice and glossy on one side and kind of denim-like on the other. Now, this is adorable. They give you a baggie, and you know what? I'm going to use the baggie for the tips, and the tips are probably going to be wrapped up nice tight and snug inside of my puck here, so that when I take it to work, and yes, I'm going to take it to work, because I did mention to them I use my testing items at work, because I've got nothing else to do other than perform tests and listen to some man chew with his mouth open during lunchtime. Yes, it's as bad as it sounds. And if you do it and you don't have nasal congestion, may Ormagodin have mercy on your pitiful soul. Because I sure won't. Comes with another genuine leather magnetic strap. And I saw a really interesting thing online. So imagine this is your shirt. You know, you have your fancy boy, you have a button-up shirt, right? You just bloop, bloop, and it holds your, like, singular wire to your shirt. I thought that was the coolest shit! Because that'll work at the collar, that'll work on your button-up or a zip-up. Oh, that is... Okay, and these magnets are actually particularly angry. It comes with, and I don't know if it's a monocrystalline cable or not. All I know is it's silver-plated. Standard cable that they usually have. This set did, and I believe this might be standard, it did omit the mobile cable that has the control interface and the microphone in throughput. But look at these. You know what? Let's get you further in. Get on in there, boy. Let's hold it with the red glove. Holy crap, that is hard to see. My dumbass literally just tried to click this, because that's where my finger was on the screen, so I could autofocus. Oh boy, I'm intelligent. This uses the dreaded MMCX. However, will note that their MMCX sockets, anyway, I've never had an issue with, so that makes me quite proud to say. However, putting them back in is a whole nother story. Let's see. Let's brighten things up a little bit. God, I love Philips Hue. They're so useful. So, that's the layout of it. What's inside of the Furai? Awesome question. Now we're on the page. This is a hybrid triple in-ear monitor. And yes, you see the price right. These sell for 500 bones, so now you might understand as to why I'm having a little bit of sippy. Because boy, I need to be tempered down just a little bit on this one. Interesting. So, here we go. This is the frequency response graph. It's interesting, isn't it? Let's see if I can get a sharper image. Not without making it look gross. It's a weird hodgepodge of, like, Harmon curve from here. And, like, some amalgamation of... Sorry, I was off center. Some amalgamation of diffused or free field. It's doing some really weird shit, isn't it? And somehow the treble filter has more oomph in the upper region. I might just enjoy the reference of the bass more. But this is what I really like, the shelving here in the 10 in forward kilohertz region. The bass here is interesting, and after I give it more of a listen, I'll give you my thoughts. I'm pretty stout in what I believe already. So it utilizes two balanced armatures and one super bass dynamic driver from the GT3 super bass. And y'all may remember, I was very unimpressed with the super bass IEM. I'm very glad that it was, well, cheap, like 70% off. So, there's that. Alright. Well then, we've gotten into that. We're listening to our fun time music. I suppose it's time for me to give this a quick little stoppy and go listen to it, correct? Correct, if I do say so myself. I'll be right back, children. So I've played around a little bit. And you will notice my Dunma Pros. With gross ear tips. Look, I'm sorry. I can't help it, they're white. I've even written down some preliminary notes. So it came pre-installed to me with the treble filter, and there were issues with some peaking and sibilance. It was very reminiscent of a significantly higher quality sounding GT3, with more filled out bass. The reference filter pulls away a good bit of that. You see, in the treble filter, the mids and the bass fight for co-dominancy alongside of what is present on the other filters. With the reference filter, you don't so much lose clarity in the treble. It's more along the lines of attenuation. And that's the key word as we move forward. It's attenuating the treble as we step down in filters, or I say through the filters. And keep in mind, these are all preliminary thoughts, not by any means my final say. The reference filter offers a better representation of the bass, and it pulls up the mids ever so slightly, while somewhat taming the sibilancy and peakiness of the BAs installed. The bass filter is like a completely different sound. It's it sounds like what the super bass should have been. Some might say it would come across veiled, but veiled to me produces a emotional implication of obfuscation. Basically, it's obscuring what could otherwise be clearly seen. This is simply not the case. It's a dark tinting, or darkly tinted sounding treble. The detail is all there. The resolution is quite deep, to the even little finite bits. And where it adds something interesting is the bass significantly comes up. It becomes the center focus on mixes that present bass far more significantly versus that. The reference is the best blend, obviously, between very pulled forward highs, reasonably accented mids, with a very, not boisterous, but a very well hard, firm standing low, a foundation of bass. And its upper bass across the spectrum is lacking. It's not anemic in any sense of the word. It's not. It's just somewhat lacking. The mid bass starts to see that rise, and it feels better. The low bass, as some would incorrectly call it, grammatically speaking anyway, the sub bass. I'm sorry, no. Below 20 hertz is sub bass. It is literally below the bass frequencies that are audible to human beings, on average. So the low bass is extremely well represented in all filters except for the treble. It is very present, it's there, you shouldn't have a problem hearing it, but it's how the bass filter darkly tints the treble. The treble filter darkly tints the bass. Now, where I have a problem with this particular set, and this is why I have the Dunma Pros, is the detail of bass. The type of bass they're going for is very reminiscent of a subwoofer. It's got low-end, deep, ethereal punch and rumble. What it lacks is a good kick and a pop, a nice slap to the noggin. And resolution. It's got clarity abound. It doesn't bleed in. Even on the bass filter, it really doesn't bleed in unless the mix allows it to bleed in, where it's just mush all across that range. And it well separates between the gamut of high, medium, low, bass, mid, and treble registers surprisingly well. So the resolution across the board within the given registers is quite good. The clarity is excellent so far, in that it doesn't bleed too terribly bad. The reference is the best at all of that. The imaging is quite good, but we'll get back to that. The bass detail. The Dunma Pro exceeds my expectations and is a stellar example of quality versus quantity. The bass here in the Furai is a hodgepodge of quality and quantity. It has a different take, and it's not nearly as finitely resolute as the Dunma Pro, not by a good shot. I can hear things in that simply refuses to reproduce, simply because of that slope that it takes as it goes down, which is my preferred bass boosting amount. It's like you start at that region, straight up. Excuse me, not straight up, you slope up. A very smooth, clean, transitional slope. This one maintains a nice quality description or depiction of the bass as you get higher and higher in amplification. The mids across the filter gamut ranges from treble to bass, of course, is my order, from semi-recessed, taking a backseat or stepping off kilter to the bass where present, otherwise Definitely always behind the treble, significantly behind the treble. As we move into the reference, it becomes more pulled forward. Vocals across the gamut are great on both the treble. On both the treble filter, the reference filter, and of course the bass filter. But it sings wonderfully with the reference filtration. The highs become slightly attenuated and far less peaky, and well, we went over that. The bass filter darkly tints everything that's not bass. The detail is all there. And again, I'm sure I'm being fairly redundant, but even though it's trying to be dominated by the bass filter, or the bass filter is trying to make it dominate, they chose very good filters. They did their homework. Between the two of them, I think I understand what David means by their very realistic sounding. And, you know, I can kind of get a hold of that. And keep in mind, I've not had anything above $200 inside of my ear holes. So far, the initial impressions are extremely good. The overall is stellar to very, very, maybe even very exceptional. And that makes me very happy. I am delighted to be able to try these out, and I will be A-Bing these between these two, and quite possibly the Shazi Neo CP, seeing those are about... yeah, those are about $180. Just shy of these guys. This is going to be an interesting little thing. Well, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Feel free to do the things that the YouTubers would blah 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 about. I will say, join the Discord. I am always talking about my thoughts and opinions on devices outside of the reviews. And guess what? You don't have to pay for a Patreon or Subscribe Star to do it. Just join in and bug me, and hope you find me at a time when I'm not busy. DMs are always open, of course. And there's a wonderful plethora of people to talk to there. Fairly knowledgeable, too, at least from their perspectives, and overall, of course. So, have a beautiful morning, a lovely afternoon, and a pleasant evening. Rest well and come back and see me again soon, my children. May you travel far and wide within the realm of your dreamscape, so long as it leads you back to me, your favorite, the now recovered great wizard, Farsil. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Going to be reviewing the 10T4. That'll be interesting. Ready, set, and poof.